What's going on, gang? It's your boy Midnight coming to you live from where the Midnight Cinema. And today, what do I have for you? I have another news story, which been thinking about leaning back into getting into, doing more of these news stories. So I have the dailies, which I subscribe to. So I get like these little mini bits of news that's going on as far as film production and Hollywood per se, I guess. What's really going on as far as the film industry is concerned. And this morning, I rolled over and I woke up noticing that I got this email from the dailies. And the first thing that I see, Hans Zimmer ineligible for his score in Dune 2. Now, as you can imagine, that spurred some sort of rage in me. I was quite pissed off, if you will, because how is that even possible? Why is that possible? Oh, I'll tell you why. According to the article here, which we will read in a second, 20% or more of the score was just themes that were repetitive, therefore, it cannot be considered an original score. But themes are what help tell the story of the character. Like, it's a continuation, it's clearly a sequel. So there's obviously going to be new tracks, and there's going to be some from the original soundtrack, like the very first soundtrack, but it continues over. So maybe there should be a category for sequels. I don't know. I don't think so, because then it gets too convoluted. I feel like it should still be eligible for best score. I mean, considering the fact that you had Howard Shore, who had consistent tracks within Lord of the Rings per se. Now, granted, I believe he was nominated for best score. I'll have to look into that. Actually, since we're right here, let me see about that right now. Howard Shore Oscar nominations, and considering the fact that you have John Williams, who has like 52 nominations, and he's done full-on franchises. So honestly, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It doesn't make any sense to me. So look at this. Check this out, right? He was nominated for Best Original Score for Fellowship of the Ring, and he also won. Yeah, and he won for Return of the King, which was in 2003. So, I mean, come on. What do we have? The Two Towers here? No, the Two Towers isn't here. All right, so that's just for the Oscars here. Okay. So now let's look at John Williams and see all of his Oscar nominations. So let's take a look here and see before we jump into this article. So John Williams, here we go, the legendary composer of Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, Star Wars. My God, wait, I'm drawing a blank. It was something else I was thinking of. Jaws, yes. Here, let's see. So let's check out. I'm not even going to look at everything. I'm just going to look at strictly for franchises here. So he was nominated for Empire Strikes Back and the original Star Wars, which he won for. He also won for Jaws. Obviously, it's a great score. He had Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade, also nominated for. So, I mean, come on now. Yeah, he did Born on the 4th of July. Nice. Didn't realize they did Nixon, Amistad, Saving Private Ryan, The Patriot, Artificial. So maybe the rules. I'm kind of. Oh, look at this! Look at this! Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Again, more Star Wars, which he was nominated for, and again, Dial of Destiny, which he was also nominated for. Lest we forget. Forgot to mention that was last year, or was that? That was last year. And The Fablemans, which was 2022, a movie I still have to watch. I got to get around to looking at. But he also did War Horse. So most of these he's done. A lot of these he's done with Steven Spielberg. Usually directors like to pair themselves with a good composer that they just often work with all the time, regularly. And Steven Spielberg and John Williams, they just happen to be that combo. It's kind of like the best, like directors and actors like to work with each other. Same thing with composers. Okay. So my boy Hans Zimmer, obviously, as we know, he won for The Lion King. He was nominated for 12 Oscars. Won for The Lion King Best Original Score, one of the greatest scores of all time. So again, with such precedent, why is it that when you have people like Howard Shore and John Williams who have done franchises, have been nominated multiple times, but Hans Zimmer doesn't meet the eligibility requirements. It doesn't make sense to me. So let's dive into it. One of the year's most anticipated and epic musical scores will not be in the running for an Academy Award. Warner Brothers' Dune Part 2, directed by Denis Villeneuve, was met with critical acclaim when it hit theaters in March. It was a phenomenal movie, great movie. You have to see it on the biggest screen possible. It's so good, especially the opening scene. Oh my God, it's so good. Both critics and audiences lauded the film's visuals, yes, storytelling, and most notably the musical score by Academy Award-winning composer Hans Zimmer. I personally think the score in Dune 2 was better than the first Dune. Personally, Only I Will Remain is honestly my favorite track on the entire soundtrack. Honestly, it's my favorite one. Love Only I Will Remain. Let's see. However, Zimmer's powerful and evocative score for the sci-fi epic is not eligible to be submitted for this year's Oscars due to surpassing the Academy's limit on pre-existing music. Therefore, it cannot be nominated in the Best Original Score category. The Academy's rule states in cases such as sequels and franchises from any media, the score must not use more than 20% of pre-existing themes and music borrowed from previous scores in the franchise. Since Zimmer's composition for Dune Part 2 incorporates substantial elements from his work in 2021's Dune, it falls outside of the eligibility criteria. I think that's BS. I want to know how recently that rule was made because, again, there's precedent. Like, the Imperial March is pretty much used in all, but I'm guessing the amount, from what I'm understanding, maybe I need to calm down here because I'm getting angry. But from what I'm getting is, again, it can't be 20% or more. So I can't say without going through every single catalog of John Williams or Howard Shore currently, that they've consistently used the same ones. Now we know that they have their themes, but again, how often are those themes played throughout the entire thing? So I'm guessing it's just different on for Dune Part 2, where Hans was like, we could use more of this theme here, and here. Which is, I mean, it's fine. Like, look, it didn't take away the experience at all. It's still an enjoyable watch. It's still a great score to listen to. It doesn't take away anything. I guess, it's just, to me, it's interesting. I just never knew that was a rule. So, there you have it. However, Zimmer's work on Dune 2 remains in contention to be recognized by other award bodies, including the Critics' Choice Awards, Golden Globes, BAFTA, and even the Grammys, which I'm sure he'll win for. Additionally, Zimmer's score for Steve McQueen's upcoming World War II drama Blitz remains eligible, which I cannot wait to see. Providing the composer another shot at Academy recognition this year. Zimmer and McQueen have previously collaborated on Widows and the Best Picture winner, 12 Years a Slave. Zimmer also collaborates a lot with Christopher Nolan. That's another one you got to look out for. He did Interstellar. He's done the Dark Knight trilogy. Ludwig Göransson did Oppenheimer, which was that was so good. But Zimmer has worked with, and I believe he did Tenet. I think he did Tenet too, as well. Let me see, who did the score for Tenet? It was also Ludwig Göransson. Never mind then. So within recent years, Christopher Nolan has been going to Ludwig, but before, he was going to my boy Hans. So that's cool to see. Zimmer shares that he doesn't make music for awards and gives insight into the creative process behind making the music for Dune 2. In the world of storytelling, our purpose is to serve the narrative and connect with the audience, Zimmer says. With Dune Part 2, we continue the journey we begin in the first half of the book at the exact moment we left off. The score was always written to expand and evolve its themes and take them, like the book, to a natural ending, planned from the first word to the last note. That's a bar. And honestly, I think that's spot on. It goes back to what I was saying earlier. It should be, when it comes to sequels, it should be a continuation. Like, the theme doesn't have to be the same. It could be, you could have different melodies that could show the character's growth, that could show the character's downfall, that could show the tragedy, that could show sadness in the character, the happiness in the character, the anger in the character, the conflict within the character, the determination in the character. Like, it's so many different things that you can use as far as having the score be an accent to your character, or building upon what you've already started with said character that can help propel them. in a way, it's another narrative storytelling device because those notes and those melodies, again, also are the backdrop of the film. And I mean, you can, if you really notice it, because I pick up on the music when I go see a movie, man. I love hearing the score. I have so many scores on my phone. And honestly, like I said, the beautiful thing about them is that they are just another way to fully tell a story. I mean, look at Oppenheimer from start to finish. That entire score is a story from beginning to end. And when you appropriately name them based on the scene, based on the character, based on what's happening in the moment, it also takes it to another level of as far as understanding what it is, like the Revenant score, right? There's 3 different tracks in it where it's like there's the Revenant main theme, then there's like the Revenant main theme 2, and then the Revenant main theme 3. Unforgiven also has the same thing with Lenny Niehaus, who did the score for that one. Essentially, there's like Claudia's theme 1, or like main, Claudia's theme 1, Claudia's theme 2, Claudia's theme 3. Claudia being William Money's wife in Unforgiven. So there's different times where that can take place. I haven't seen anyone do that recently, but I think it's interesting that they have it broken up, because I think that they try to tailor it at different points where it just kind of, it's different. You know, you have the main theme, like the melody, like the initial melodies, the initial melody is still the same, but there's some added notes, there's some added arrangements to it that also help differentiate the themes between each one, even though they're like 3 parts of the same whole, you know. The latest development, this latest development adds Dune Part 2 to a growing list of exceptional film scores deemed ineligible for Oscar consideration by the Academy's music branch. Other notable examples include Johan Johansson's score for Arrival, which was great movie. John, Movie Lovers Unite, yeah, my good friend John, I'm looking right at you. You see Arrival's on this list, right? We got to do that review soon, because you will not slander this movie anymore. I know you love this movie. Cliff Martinez's work in Drive, another one I have to watch. And Clint Mansell's music in Black Swan, another one I also have to watch. One of the most egregious examples involves composer Johnny Greenwood, whose work on There Will Be Blood, great movie, phenomenal movie, and The Master, I started but I haven't finished, was also disqualified from the Oscars. Interestingly, however, composing legend John Williams has found himself nominated multiple times for sequels and franchises, including 6 Star Wars films and 2 for Harry Potter and 4 for Indiana Jones. Despite the setback, the German maestro continues to support Dune 2 as it continues its journey on the award circuit. I'm immensely proud of what we've collaboratively crafted with visionaries like Denis Villeneuve. This is our contribution to a larger cinematic experience, Zimmer said. Hans Zimmer's remarkable career spans decades with a body of work that has left an indelible mark on modern cinema. Yes, it has. The prolific composer has garnered 12 Oscar nominations and won twice for The Lion King 1994 and Dune 2021. I firmly believe he should have won for Gladiator in 2000. Don't know why he didn't. Love that score. That score is phenomenal. Beyond the Oscars, he has earned 4 Grammy Awards, 6 Emmy nominations, and even a Tony nomination, further cementing his legacy as one of the most accomplished and influential composers in the entertainment industry. So there you have it. I mean, John Williams, again, it's like nominated multiple times. So I want to know how recently this rule was made, personally. I need to know, because it doesn't make any sense to me how this is. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I think it's kind of messed up, but maybe this leaves room for Chris Bowers to get nominated for The Wild Robot. But again, you know, he might be nominated for Blitz, so we'll see what happens when that comes out. I can't wait to see it. And there's a lot of other movies that will be coming out this year that will be garnering awards contention, so we shall see. Anyways, this video was long enough, guys. I'm glad that you stuck around. If you stuck around, really appreciate it. I love you all. Stay safe. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe to the channel. By all means, I'm here. You know where to find me. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.
Y'all gonna check me out at these here socials. I'll see you all in the next one. And by the way, make sure that you stay tuned for all types of content that I got going on at this here channel. Remember, 1 pack, 1 nation, 1 smooth hell.